This program is made possible by annual financial support from viewers like you.
Turtles All the Way Down has been one of the most enriching novels that I've read in recent years. Now, being the only book that I've read in recent years, that's saying something. But undergoing a plot about a lost guy and the man that wants to give all of his money away to a lizard instead of his own two kids, that's pretty freaking awesome. Now, I hope you enjoy as I take you through the wonderful world of Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Bye-bye.
Dear Arkansas daughter.
So, there's this scientist, and he's giving a presentation about, the foundation of the Earth and how it was formed billions and billions of years ago, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so he finishes this whole presentation about the history of the Earth and life on it, and at the end he asks if there's any questions. And this old woman in the back of the class, raises her hand, and she's all like, "That's great and all, Mr. Scientist, but, the truth is that the Earth is just a flat surface resting on top of the back of a giant turtle." So the scientist is like, I'll amuse her. Well, if that's the case, then what's that turtle resting upon? So she's like, on the back of another giant turtle. So at this point, the scientist is frustrated, and he's like, okay, well then what is that turtle standing on? And she says, "Sir, I don't think you understand. It's turtles all the way down."
All right, ready to do the summary. Turtles All the Way Down is a book written by John Green, depicting the story of a 16-year-old girl named Ozza Holmes living in Minneapolis. She is diagnosed with OCD, and we watch her journey throughout life. We get to slowly see as she unfolds the mysteries of this missing billionaire case in which she meets old friends, all while fighting her own mental issues that are keeping her from quote-unquote being like everyone else and having these relationships that she wished she had. Throughout the story of Turtles All the Way Down, Asa grows very, very slowly in forms that I cannot really comprehend without going into the motifs and themes of the book first. So, let's not talk about either of those, and let's talk about symbolism and talk about a new character instead of our main protagonist named Harold.
Two trucks having.
Now, what do I mean by the symbolism of the character Harold? Of course, when I say that, I'm not talking about a real character. You see, Harold is Asa's real form of transportation throughout the novel. It's her car. More specifically, it's her father's car. And spoiler alert, Dad's dead. To illustrate that her dad's spirit practically lives on in this car, which Asa holds dear, holds close to her, holds closer to her heart than anything else in the rest of the world. Move away, boys, move away, family. It's all about her dad and how she misses him, how her grief of losing her father really changes her as a person. And this is only accentuated by the fact that she holds this old phone inside of this car, which, surprise, surprise, was her father's. And like the car, it all does sadly go away at some point. All in one fell swoop, just like her father, it's taken away. And it's a shame. It really does suck. It's time to talk about a lizard that had everything. Practically given everything if this one man were to die. What was this lizard, also known as a tuatara, promised? Wealth, fame, and power. But when you think about it, you gotta question, but what does it mean? Why? Why would this dad give all of his money away to this lizard when, of course, you have two living kids who are just around the ripe age of like 16, 13-ish, and now you're just gonna leave them no money while you go do skittily what? All over around the trench's mouth or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what rich people do. They're weird. But that's the thing. Rich people are weird. But more specifically, what I mean by that, rich people are slowly become infatuated with it and get corrupted by it. Greed corrupts. Greed corrupts people in the ways that people will do random things. The reasoning why this guy gave all of his money away to a tuatara when he dies, it's because, quote unquote, he'd be able to find the meaning of, like, he'd be able to find a way to live forever, which doesn't seem really smart, you know? Like, it all boils down to the thought that you're only doing this for some bigger reason when that bigger reason isn't really there.
Dear Arkansas daughter.
But ultimately, I would like to talk about her OCD and how she does challenge it, in which she does start to challenge it. She starts to fight up against it, and she does learn to fight against this major problem of hers, as slowly but surely she goes from just accepting fate of she's not able to control her own body to actually being able to fight up against it. But when it comes down to it, it's her intrusive thoughts that always make her do the worst things. By this I mean, we're talking about the worst things possible. Drinking hand sanitizer is one of the worst things possible, which I won't get into because I want you to read the book. It gets a little dark, not dark necessarily, but it gets a little, at times. Makes you cringe. But, yeah. She does start to overcome it. She does start to thankfully push back against this need for hand sanitizer consumption. But she always does keep a little band-aid on her middle finger, as it does remind her that she can control her own body. I'm not wearing the band-aid anymore. Whoa, foreshadowing. Whoa. Okay, this is me editing. I give this book an 8 out of 10. Shay, I know you're gonna ask me this question, and it's like an 8 out of 10. Anyways, I think if I do this, and then, I love AP Lit! Oh god, I'm so cool! Why am I small? I'm spinning! I'm moving! Whee!